These are the faces of the homeless. They are mothers. They are fathers. They are teenagers and children and infants. They are families. Today, the largest demographic group in America's homeless population. It is estimated that on any given night, up to 1 million people are homeless in our country. And the average age of a homeless person? Just 9 years old. This is the story of one community that came together to face the challenge, creating a unique, nonprofit agency that treats homeless families not as strangers, but rather as neighbors. Neighbors in need. In doing so, since its beginnings in 1984, it has transformed the lives of over 10,000 people. This is the story of Transition House. Nestled between the mountains and the ocean on the California coast, Santa Barbara is a city known for its beauty. But like communities across the country, it must grapple with a dramatic increase in family homelessness. Begun by concerned individuals and faith-based community groups, Transition House has created an effective 3-stage program which offers not only shelter to homeless families, but also gives them the support and life skills needed to return to housing. One challenge to be faced is overcoming the misperceptions of just who the homeless are.
I think a lot of us think of homeless people as an individual on the street who's transient, has alcohol or mental illness, and they're really a minority when it comes to the total homeless population in the United States and in Santa Barbara. In the U.S., 50% of the homeless are families with children. Half of the homeless are families with children. We see the same kind of thing here in Santa Barbara. They're just not as visible a population.
It's interesting. I've heard many different perceptions and theories on homelessness, and I don't believe I've ever met one family that's come through Transition House where this was a choice that they had made, where they didn't yearn for something more.
The truth is, the families who come to Transition House are our neighbors. They're our friends. There are people from the Santa Barbara community who come from all walks of life. My wife and I have been very proud to be volunteers at Transition House for almost 15 years now, and one of the things that's always struck us is how diverse the population really is. These are people from literally all walks of life. I've had long conversations with people who have been engineers, who have worked in banks, who have worked in the school system. They've had all manner of jobs and situations. And for whatever variety of circumstances in their lives, they find themselves in a situation where Transition House is really what they need to get back on their feet.
The success of Transition House comes from its unique 3-stage program, honed and refined over many years. It begins with its emergency shelter.
When they come to Transition House, it's a place of last resort. They have nowhere else to go. They've exhausted all the other possibilities that they might have in their lives to keep them in housing. They can enter into our shelter 5 nights a week. They come to our doors at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they are interviewed. At that time, we do a drug test to make sure that they're sober and not using drugs at the time of entry. Because we serve so many children, we want to make sure that the shelter is a safe place for everybody. Staff works on the first night of their stay just to build trust, to make them feel comfortable. They're in crisis, they're in a strange environment. All of a sudden, they've gone from having their own housing, they've lost everything they've had, and they have to stay in a shelter with people that they don't even know. It's very stressful, so one of the first things that we have to do is make them feel comfortable and cared for.
There are many shelters that give people a place to stay, a roof over their head, and meals, and Transition House does that as well. But the most unique thing about Transition House is that we actually provide a solution to homelessness and poverty.
That solution starts with the dedicated case management of each and every family. With their case manager, families create budgets and mandatory savings plans of 80%. For the unemployed and the underemployed, career counseling teaches them the life skills needed to increase their earnings ability. The goal: economic self-sufficiency.
And our career counselor, Sal, he's really helped as far as helping us network. He's pointed us in the right direction, letting us know places that are hiring, giving us contact information, helping us put resumes together, giving us places, resources to go get clothing for jobs and stuff like that, which was a huge help.
In addition to career counseling and individualized case management, clients also meet in the evenings with volunteer screeners.
These rooms are our screening rooms, and they're used in the evening. We have volunteers who come in and speak with the clients, and they are given their mail in the evening, phone messages, information that they need. It's a time also for the clients to talk about how their day was, if they're having any problems here in the shelter, or any happy news to give us. Maybe they've found a job, maybe they've accomplished something that they needed to do. The rooms are also used for planning sessions with the case managers in the evening. And it's again, just rooms that are good, used for a lot of communication.